Last day we had seen this FRC, okay, where you have the central repository for all your reports.
Yeah.
Okay, today we will see if there is anything else that we can do in this um, reporting place. Okay. So let's. Oh, Amit is joining. Hi, Amit. Hello, Amit.
Hi, sort of. Sorry, I was busy.
No problem. Okay, so like in our last class, we had seen the FRC and how we can run the different reports from the FRC. FRC is the Financial Reporting Center. Today, we will see if there is any other ways in which we can, uh, view or create reports further. Okay, we'll try and see if we can create a grid based on which we can create further reports. On the right hand side, we have the tasks panel here. Here you will find, okay, so you will find a open workspace for financial reporting. So when you click on this, so you'll be taken to the FRS, which is your financial reporting studio, which is like your EPPM that, what where you went for creating your allocations. This takes you to the often also the OTBI, BI catalog. So same place where you go, okay. And if you are going to be creating a new report, you can go to this file, new, and you can open up a new report. This is a typical way in which you create a um, report which can be used with an existing data model or with a new data model that you will create and link up and run the application. Okay, now here you are given two options, whether you want to use the report editor or you want to guide me. Guide me is basically the place, it's like you can say, it's like wizard which runs you through the steps for creating your reports. In this case, suppose you want to create a different kind of a report, or you want to create different types of uh, this is a typical data model BI type kind of report template which you can create from here. Okay, and if you were to look here within the shared folders, you will find different folders which specify with specific names of the different modules. Like within financials, you will find the one for cash management, expenses, fixed assets, general ledger, payables, payments. All these are within the financials folder. If you click on this payables, you will get first the localization, then you will get within invoices, and then you have the different reports that you see here. Okay. And if you see here, invoice payables, invoice register. Okay. And if you click on this, you have different options here. If you want to make any changes, these are the ones that are provided by Oracle and they are locked out. So if you want to make any changes, you have to copy them and put it in your custom folder and then make any changes. You cannot make changes to them directly. Okay. Like you have the edit option here. You click on edit. Okay. So this is the layout of the report that you have. Okay. If you want to do anything else here, like have a column or a section, these are the different parts of your report. Okay. And these are the whether you want any further settings related changes, tools, preview, run. So if you want to run this, you click on this. The other thing that we can also do here is, if you as you can make out from this icons, this is a dashboard. Okay. With the icons, you might remember from our last class, there were different types of icons that we were seeing. Each of them have a data model and the data layout attached to it. And if you see here, these are your normal reports that you have. Okay. So whether you want to run them or you want to view them, you can click on this and you will find the schedule option has to be enabled. Then you will be able to run them from here. Okay. And any report on which you will have this schedule on is the one that you will be able to run. Okay. Now from here, you also have these, when you click on this new, you have all these different options. Whether you want a new analysis kind of report, dashboard report, normal report, report jobs, data model. So those who are working in the technical domain, they try to, they create the reports using the data model and writing out the queries and all those, based on which these have to be configured and run. Okay. Now from here you also have the option to launch these two, which is Financial Reporting Studio and Financial Reporting Web Studio. Okay. Normally when we run this, if we run the Financial Reporting Web Studio, and you have the connection manager also to configure anything else that you need to configure. Um, so these are your different uh, connections which are already established as per what Oracle setup is already done. If you want to establish a new connection, you can, or you can live with the existing one. So we will now go and launch the Financial Reporting Web Studio. This FRS is part of the Oracle Hyperion. Okay, so you have different parts here. This is the report. So if you want to create a new report, you have this plus new document, or we can go to file, new, and then we have a report. Okay, these are typically your guidelines that you have. In case you do not want to see the guidelines or anything, you can come here and make changes, okay, as per your need. Okay, we also have a good help here about the reporting studio and how you can design a financial reporting web studio that helps you to create a new one. Okay, and when you right click, you get go get these options. Inside this there is a insert option which gives you grid, text, chart, image, or saved object. Let's say you want a new grid, so we'll click on grid and then we can draw it out. So within the body we get a new grid here. And what is my database connection source? We will pick up the data from our US chart of accounts. So we'll say US chart of accounts. Then say OK. So after this, we will get the different dimensions that are required. If you remember when we were doing the allocation, we had the point of view. So that is the same kind of concept here. So whichever one you need, you just click and drag it out. So let's say I want a counting period in the column. So I'll put it in the column here, and account I will put in the rows. So I'll just, this is quite like your pivot table in Excel, right? And company, we want in the company wise pages. Okay. So once this is done, then we say okay. And if you want any specific account or any want to only look at particular areas, you can click on this, and here you can select the members of that particular account. Members meaning which sort of accounts you want displayed over there. Say we want only the revenue and the expense accounts to be displayed. So we will have to select the revenue and the expense type of account. So you have further things below this. So you see here, these are the different types of accounts that you want to show. So you have assets, you have liabilities, owner's equity, net income, current year. This is all the total ones. So either we go by that, okay, where we'll have different, or these are the individual all account values. So we can go back there and just select the ones that we need. And let's say I want this, I want this, nothing else here. Huh? So within this also, I'll have revenue and expenses. So I can click these two and push them to the right hand side. All right. So these two accounts are now enabled, and then we say okay. Okay. Now once this is done, you want to save your report first. So you can go to file, you have the save as, and give it a name. Okay, so let's say we want S, and then we click on. It's under the type of reports. If you ideally you should be sharing everything under shared or under custom. Okay, see, fail to save report, because that is where the main reports are stored. So best is to go under custom and to store it inside the custom folder. Okay, within custom folder you will get my folders, my reports, you can put it over here. Okay, okay. So now in this portion we have selected our account, and suppose I want to insert anything, I can say insert row, data, formula or text, and this will be a text one. So a blank row will be inserted. Okay, so one blank row gets inserted, and after this if I want, I want to insert some more uh, accounts. So I'll say insert row, this time data. Okay, now see, when we set account, whatever we had in the account that has got duplicated, right? So now we need to go and change this. For this, we will double click. So whatever we have selected here, those we can move out. And we will select some further accounts which are related to expenses. are all the asset related ones. So liabilities. These are the expense related ones. So the expenses, we have this uh, material goods, operating expenses, and extraordinaries and tax. Okay, and then we will say, so these are now added. I will say okay. So now I have added the expenses also. Now we have so far selected the amount and the respective accounts. Now along with this, we also need to define, let's say, a total at the bottom, so we can add a formula here. So what will the formula do? It will add up the different values and put it right at the bottom. So let's say I want a total here. So I can have a custom heading on the right hand side. I'll say show custom heading, and I will say mm, total expenses. Okay, so you see the total expenses are displayed here. Now if you want to add a formula, yeah. So here is the sum. So once we click on this sum, you will get it here. Okay, so the sum is displayed, and then you have to specify the sum from where to where. So sum of the rows, right? So we have 3 4 5, 3 to 5 is what it will display. Once you are done, click. Now, as far as our data is concerned, we have chosen the data. Now we want to choose the accounting period. Like, we had said what type of accounting period we need it. For this, we will again open up that members page. Okay. So we can remove this one first, whatever is there. And from the functions, we can pick up what is already defined. So let's say I want this range. Okay. So what is the range of your values is what you will have to click. Okay. So what is the range of your values? So you have three options under the functions. So okay. So within the start member, you have to say what is the value. So this we will select the relative member. Okay, because every year, every period you are going to run this, right? So you will say if you are running from January, you could have January, February, March. If you're running from April, May, June, like that. So now we'll have to specify the member. So we select the current point of view for the accounting period. Okay. Then what is the offset against? So how many periods do you want? So here you will get, how many previous periods do you need, or how many future periods you need. Suppose you want it for 11 periods, you will say minus 11 for the last 11 periods from that, whichever period you are selecting from that period. Okay, so now we have chosen our start member. Now we have to select our end member. Again, we click on the value here. Current point of view. Then we say okay. Then we say okay. All right. So once this is done, okay, it will tell you what is the range that you have selected. Okay, and you can save this report for now. So once the next thing that we'll be doing is defining the different dimensions for the other views. And once you do this, if you right click on this, you will get the grid point of view. Okay. So which ledger do you want to use? You will say US ledger. So, okay. Then against this, the grid point of view is there. Next, we'll choose the scenario. Which particular, do we want actuals? Do we want budget? So that is what we'll be specifying next. So from here you will see the scenario. Select the scenario. Then for, then for the balance amount, we will select the activities for that particular period. Just give me a minute. Huh? I'll just be back. Sorry, I'm back. And so going back to where we were, we'll go back to the great point of view. Then we have done the scenario one, right? We selected actual. Next, we'll go and select scenario. Okay, we have selected OK. Next is balance amount. Okay. So under the balance amount, we are going to look at the period activity, whatever we have done. So we'll select period activity. Then which particular currency do we want to see? We want to see only the USD. So this is the US primary ledger. For that, we are going to be looking at the US currency only. And within the list of currencies, you will find USD. Just choose the USD. Also type here. So choose USD. Okay. Now once this is done, we'll have to define the point of view. So for that, we go to the grid point of view setup. Okay. So you will find all these are the different dimensions that we have selected. Okay. You will find, if you scroll down, you will find the other ones here also. So if you look at the balance one, so what can they select? You have to tell them what they can select. You can say that, you know, they may select none. Let's just lock out this. Okay. And so users won't be able to select anything on the balance amount. Okay. That will be uh, moved from them. Okay. Now see, there is a pages here. If I want to change any prompts or if I want to move anything here, it says pages here. So this prompt that you will be seeing here, it says prompt. We'll call it prompt for company. Prompt for company. Once we are done, we say okay. So we'll now put select from company, and we'll say so. This is how the member will behave. And if you want any further changes here, you want further conditions or anything like that, and you can say so. The title can be, instead of, you can say please enter, please select a company. Okay, these are the other options that you have. This is the name of the member, so we'll say please select a company. So these are the different settings that we specify for our um, default that we have. So whichever companies you want, you can select those companies and make them available as per your need. Okay, let's say you just want 101 or you want 10131, the US ones. Okay, otherwise you can leave it as it is. Okay, so this default member that you see here, here you can specify what are the default members that you want to see. Okay, so let's say you want to specify 101, this is US, 102 is US. Okay, you say okay. Actually that didn't get selected. Selections we have to push it to the right to enable it. I forgot to push it to the right. So I'll go back and add these ones. 101 and 102, I have to push it to the right here. Okay. So they become the child values. Okay. So you will see the individual values are now put there. So if all other settings you can do it this way one by one, you know, any values that you want to suppress or you want to add a particular object or anything like that, those you can keep doing. Now, after you're done with this, now we will keep saving. Now, once you have defined your report, you can also do a preview like this. You have an HTML preview. So you can run this or you can do a PDF preview as per your need. Just like your other types of report, you also have the ability to create your title and logos and all of this. Okay. So these are the selections. So whichever company you want, okay, we have only these two. Say okay. So now you have data for your respective periods. So this is the page for company. This is 01 and this is for 102. The currency is USD, ledger is as you can see, it requires some amount of formatting here, right? Missing, or these can be reflected to zero. So wherever it says zero, you have to ensure that it reflects the value zero. So this way you can fine tune your data as per your need. So here, if you see this one, total expenses, if you look at the row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 should have been the sum. Okay, so we'll have to go back and do the correction for that and ensure our report is correct. 6, 7, 8. If you remember, we had put a total of sum here. Six. This is hmm, that's better. I was missing the square brackets, and once this is done, I will save this. Then I will once again preview this. After this, we can add some logo also to our report. Oh, still total is not completing because of this. and these zeros also we'll have to suppress these zeros, right? So for this on this right hand side also you have the grid properties. Mm. Oh, oh. If I close this, that's a problem. So on the right hand side, we have the grid properties. So here you have what do you want to do? Okay, basic options. If it is 0, if missing suppress, if error suppress. Okay. So we want the drill down facility also. So we will say drill through. Drill through is the one to set it for the drill. Now we will go and set the properties. So this is for the page of the company. You can also go and view the property sheet in this manner. So once your grid appears, then let the grid come up. Yeah. So once this grid comes up, you have the column, the row header here. Okay. And so once we click on the first row, okay, you get the row properties over here. Okay. I'm trying to open up the row properties. Uh, Now, if I want to add any particular logo or anything to this report, I have an option to insert the image from here. Okay. Now, to do that, we'll put in a header here. Okay. So let's say we want only one image now. So over here, if I want to put in an image, I will say I can insert a text also to give the title of the report. So say I want to run SP expenses report for 12 months. And then we will select an image and put our image over there. Okay, so this is the expenses report, and if I want to put an image here, okay. So also put an image directly over here. So you can either put it from this image here, or you can go to that header and you can put your image. So this is the other way. You can go to insert and put in a image like this. Okay, depending on. Okay, so they still come up over here. So there are different ways in which you can put the image. Okay, now if you want to select your logo, I'll just delete one of them. On the right you have the image properties. Okay, so from the image property you can browse and pick up your image file. You can also play around with the position of the file. So I'll quickly pick up one image. Okay, so let's say that will be the image, and then So we'll need to keep saving from time to time because there are a series of steps that you will be doing if you want to do a preview. So we now have our header, okay, and we also have our logo. All right. So whenever you want to change any parameters, you can click on this and you can just use one cost center maybe or one values based on which system will give you the particular value for that cost center. The default one was all cost center values. So this is just for everything is missing now. Okay, because we don't have values for that particular cost center. Okay. The other thing that did not happen was the zero and the total expenses, right? Why did the suppression? So if you want these, if it is negative, you want to display in red, you can always specify this. So negative numbers will come in red. Okay. quite like your Excel. Now see our zeros are all gone. Okay, missing and all, where that total has not yet come. See, now the total has come. Okay, so the total is over here, and these are the individual values. If you want a total here, we can put a total here as well. Okay, total for the expenses by inserting a row and putting in a total. And then we can say a grand total, which will be a sum of this total and this total if required. Okay, we can have column headings and we can put in all the details as per your requirement. All right. Now, if we think that this is good enough for us, in that case, the next step is we will be able to run it from our FRC as well. So we'll close this, and then we can go here and look for SP. Great. Okay. So now let's go to my folders.
Saurabh, can we stop for the day?
Yeah, we will. I'll just show you from this. I'm almost done. I just wanted to show you just 2 minutes and we should be
Sure.
done. So once this is done, then actually refresh. A logout login often refreshes it. So uh, without going to the EPPM workspace, we should be able to see it from here. Otherwise, we can always go to the EPPM and run it. And then we go to FRC like previously. FRC. The SB1 should have also come here. Anyway, it's not coming up, but I'll have to check this out. Okay. Otherwise, you can always go from here and then pull up that report and run it. But that's a roundabout way of running these reports. Okay, so I think we'll stop here, guys. And if you want to, go ahead and move. I know it's weekend, so you need to. All right.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sheet custom items. Inside this, the my reports is inside this. So we have the SP open vision income statement. Now, once there, so you will be running this report from here and not from FRC. Okay. Now you see the report here, and okay. So this is how we are displaying the report. Okay. Now from here you can also go to this applications and BI catalog. Basically you're taken into the same place, same, and so if you want to open in the studio preview or you want to run this, you can click on this also. Right now there's some problem. Otherwise you can click on this open. These are the values if you want to change. Okay. All right. So that completes the practice for the creation of the Hyperion report, also called as the Enterprise Performance Management report. All right then. Thank you.